Hello, fellow citizens, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Elfie, just a girly pop trying to figure out this Star Citizen thing, and today I'm going to show you how I completed the Onyx investigation missions. So sit back, grab a snack, and get ready to see how I persevered through so many issues but finally got this series done. To be completely honest, we were setting out to finish this in one session, but we were only able to gather the security data in the first night, so here's how it went. Case update. We were able to pull some very interesting data from what you delivered, but we still don't have a clear enough picture. What we did concretely learn though is that the Onyx security monitoring system is still operational. The data from there is going to be your next target. Contract investigator actions. Explore the research wing and retrieve the security data and deliver to Evers Harbor above Hurston. It was a clear night landing at the Onyx facility in the beautiful yellow constellation. The music itself was also really gorgeous and kind of got me in the mood for a good fight. We were in the research wing this time, which I'm starting to get pretty familiar with at this point. As always, I was looting while everyone was shooting and then picking off guys whenever I could. My friends definitely come in more kitted and with more mags than me though, so they kind of protect me. We finally got to the computer in the server room where I needed to insert the drive. It took me a second though to realize that I actually should probably have the drive in my hand in order to insert it. I copied all the data, and I remembered to take the drive when it was done.
Now all you gotta do is bring it to me.
We were on our way out of there pretty quickly, but not without looting some dead bodies. And taking out literally every single random item I found in these boxes. I got some pretty sick footage of the constellation on the way back to Evers Harbor. And I'm happy to report that we made it back in one piece with no incidents. I ran straight to my storage to store all of the junk that I had looted as well as the drive, and I was able to send it down to complete the mission with no issues. Just like that, we were one step closer to finishing the Onyx investigation contracts.
Great. That security data should give us a better idea of which areas of the facility have been accessed and when. I might even be able to start putting together a rough timeline of Yoret's actions. I'll give this a once-over and contact you when I have our next step figured out.
And this is when I learned that his name was actually Yoret, not Joret.
So, this is going to be a bit strange, but one of the old experiments they had running back in the day tracked seismic changes. If Yoret is down there, then he could be showing up on those sensors.
Mission details. Case update. Thanks to that last batch of data you delivered, we're starting to fill in the gaps on what Dr. Joret's doing down there. Got a rough timeline of his activities. Seems he's had more stuff coming into Onyx than going out, which is interesting. We're going to need more intel though. There's an old experiment running down there that monitors minute seismic changes. If you can deliver that data to me, it'll help us pinpoint some of the movements around the facility. Contract investigator actions. Explore the research wing and retrieve seismic data, and deliver it to Evers Harbor above Hurston. Same facility, new mission. We did the shooty shoots and the looty loots. We floated through this thing again, but when we got back to Evers Harbor, it wouldn't actually let us turn in the mission. So I went to my storage and I put everything back in it and found out that I had these Geist arms that may or may not be worth something because they're the ASD edition. And to end the night, my friend Nargo had me stand in the elevator in the medical area in the hangar, because apparently when you're incapacitated, it'll actually bring you straight to the hospital so that you don't actually have to walk all the way there to go heal your level 3 trauma. Oh, the things you'll learn in Star Citizen. Now this one's for all of you who told me that I need to stop using iron sights. Now, I still don't totally know what gun is what in this game and kind of how to put everything together, but my new friend Xanthus over here gave me a thermal sight and a laser, which I didn't even know were in the game. Did it make shooting easier? Yes. But did it prevent me from dying more than usual? Not quite. But At least I'll always have my friends to pick me up when I'm down. Believe it or not, we were actually trying to play slower than usual, but it just ended up with me in the treatment facility trying to cure all of my trauma that I endured in these facilities. By about the third or fourth time, we did end up getting out of there successfully after fighting all of the guys in the middle by the elevator. But I can't say that it wasn't without injury, and a little scare when the elevator closed on me. You can see the panic in my movements. I definitely wrecked myself, so I had to go check myself back in the facility. And then we headed back to the Prowler to hopefully head back to the station and be able to turn in the mission. And I will stop here and say, this is probably one of the funkiest but coolest ships that I've ever been in. It made me a little bit uneasy though with how many open spaces there were, especially when we would leave the ramp open. But this is where I need your guys' help. Let me know in the comments where I can find a paint or a skin of some sort that kind of looks like this that I would be able to put on my Mercury Star Runner. I don't really know too much about ship cosmetics, but I really want something like this where it's different and kind of girly. When we got to Everest Harbor, we were able to successfully turn in the seismic data this time, and that leaves us with one more mission.
Appreciate you delivering that data. I've got a contact who's an expert in this stuff who agreed to take a look. Maybe they'll be able to spot something I missed. It's gonna take a bit of time though. I'll reach out when I got something for you.
Mission details. Case update. The seismic data you extracted had some interesting revelations. My expert says she thinks that Yor might have been excavating down there. Hate to think what he's doing, but it's our job to find out. I think we're close to cracking this, so I want you to go back to the Onyx and gather the power usage data. If we can track energy flow from the last couple months, a pattern should reveal itself. Contract investigator actions. Explore the engineering wing and upload the power usage data.
Alright, I've been thinking things through. And if Yor is operating in the facility somewhere, then we need to see the output data from the power core. We track that usage and we have a real shot at narrowing down where he's hiding. Head into the engineering wing and see if you can pull the data for me.
Inside of the Prowler, I realized that I had pretty much put all of my junk in this one storage container, and it was starting to get a little bit full. I don't even really know what half of this stuff is, but maybe we should do a video on an unboxing of all of the loot that I got throughout going into the Onyx facilities and completing these missions. My intention here was to actually go store it on the station, and figured that it would respawn a new Babbage after the patchets, but Lee had a good idea. Although it looks tiny, the Prowler can actually hold a good amount of containers in the cargo area. So I claimed one and I put all of my junk in here for the rest of the night. We knew that the last mission was going to be important, so we had our good friend Cannon join us as a fourth, and we were off in the Prowler to go finish the Onyx investigation missions. When we got to the facility, we went straight to the engineering wing. I realized that I hadn't been here since we did the first couple of missions, and so I wasn't going to be as familiar with it. I immediately found a few boxes that I could loot, and they actually had some clothes in them. I've been having a really good time collecting all of the clothes in the Onyx facilities, and I'm looking forward to actually going through them more once the missions are done, just to kind of loot and figure out my way around. Let me know in the comments if you prefer to go into the research or the engineering wing. I vaguely remember this area from the broken pipes when we had to repair them, but I was staying close to my friends because I didn't want to get lost. We were able to get past this area with no one dying from radiation, and we were all doing pretty okay. With that said, I did get a lot better about healing and making sure that I wasn't peeking fights while hurt. And then we headed to the room where I actually had to download the data. After I successfully downloaded the data, we had to head to the power core, which I had never actually been to before. And at this point, I kind of felt like I was on an episode of American Ninja Warrior trying to parkour over all the rocks. And my friend Cannon over here, he's been in these facilities for the past few weeks looking for some kind of backpack, and he was killing the worms before I could even get to them, so it was pretty easy from here on out. Until we got to this part. I was pretty okay with these little jumps, but by the time that I had gotten to the last rock, I was pretty afraid of the last jump because I wasn't sure if I could actually vault onto that platform or not. But once I saw Cannon go for it, I figured that it was fine. Easy peasy, nothing to be scared of. Did you just litter?
Yep, I threw it right on the ground.
That wasn't very Star Citizen of him, but I did it too. Because literally, I've been in these facilities so many times trying to do these missions with all the bugs and issues, and I'm over it. Anyways, we finally made it to the giant power core, and this was actually super cool. It basically erupted every couple of seconds, and we had to go hide. So it made it a good challenge, but not too difficult. I also really liked flying through with zero gravity. And I can't really remember if I didn't care or if I didn't understand the sound, but I definitely didn't hide from this one. And so my friends, once we worked our way through the facility, told me I had to fly up there. So we waited for the core to jizz, and then we headed on up. And I can't lie, this part was kind of a shit show. Did I get it?
I know we gotta hide.
I'm super discombobulated. Once I finally flew back up there and one of my friends told me I could just hit X to hit the brake, I was okay. But there was a disc in there and I couldn't figure out how to get it out because it just kept telling me to inspect. Turns out, when you fill your backpack with a bunch of loot, you can't actually store anything else. So one of my friends had to come up here and get it. Once it was out, I was able to pull out the disc that I have from earlier and put it in to copy the data. I was still really bad at controlling my body at this point. And once we left and already started looting the other area, I had to rearrange my stuff and come back for the disc because I forgot to take it. Don't forget to take your item after you have finished copying the data. And also, don't try to do this with a full backpack. Once I finally figured out my life and my priorities, I got off into this new area with the drive, but something was really wrong with my mouse and keyboard. Every time I tried to walk forward, it kept pulling me to the side, and I just kept throwing my fingers up. Lee definitely thought I was giving him the bird or having a stroke or both. I was able to F4 and it pretty much fixed it. Then I got to go back to the Prowler and do my favorite thing, which is fill up my box with even more stuff that I don't know what it is. We made it back to the station and we were finally able to turn in the last item for this mission series. I was super excited, and then I found out that you can actually repeat the last 4 missions, which was pretty cool. So if you want to go loot the Onyx facilities, you can make some additional money just on the side. And speaking of, my friends finally told me to turn in my noob gear and actually get a heavy set so that I could go ham on looting. I didn't actually realize there were different sized backpacks, so I was super excited to go back in and actually get some good loot. Between the 2 choices, we ended up going back to the research wing, and this is what I got. A clown suit, a jacket and a snack, some of these canisters but I don't know what they're for, the green set of arms, all the drugs, horns from whatever these are, a bunch of different fruits that I've never seen before, even more drugs, a nice jacket, a vest, and whatever that green thing is, some other random stuff but a space whale plushie, some more exotic fruit, and some random magazines at the exit. We ended up going back to the Prowler to drop off all of the stuff, and we went in for round 2. I got a nice sniper rifle thing off of this rack, more horns from these guys, a bunch of random gun parts that probably go to all different things, some more snacks and a cute pair of boots, more horns, and probably the last drugs in this facility. I pretty much cleared the place out. If you like new player Star Citizen content, be sure to like and subscribe to support the channel. I post new videos every Sunday and Thursday, and I hope to see you next time. Pretty soon, I'll also be starting a new series on exploring Pyro, so make sure to come back and look out for it, and until next time, Elfie out.